Peace in Pan-Africanism to all my African brothers and sisters. Checking 1 2. Mic check 1 2. Mic check 1 2. Mic check 1 2. Mic check 1 2. Members of Parliament of Kingston So Parliament, the members of the Black community, the members of Pan-Africanism, the criticizers, the haters, the supporters, the sponsors, everyone, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, welcome. Some members are saying they've got load shedding, so that is very understandable. That is precisely the reason why we want to vote the ANC out, because of this load shedding. Some members cannot watch because they've got load shedding at home, and it's been very difficult for South Africa with this load shedding issue. Very difficult. That's why we need economical freedom in our lifetime. I really strongly agree with that slogan that enough is enough. Enough is enough. It's been quite a journey this past week, or let me rather say this past month, January, announcing the project of PASETA, the Pan African School of Economics, Technology and Agriculture. It's been quite a journey ever since that announcement. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. You can just go in the comment section and tell me if I'm audible, if I'm visible, and also it will help if you just click the like button to spread the word to the rest of the members of Parliament that really we are live. We are live. It helps when you click the like button. It helps spread to the other members of Parliament that we are here. And since we announced the project of excuse me, PASETA, we are on a journey of registering the school. We are now at the step where we are busy with the Department of Education. They are assisting us to make the school formal and everything, so that our paperwork are in order. As a Pan-African school, we don't want to find ourselves on the wrong side of the law and whatever. So we are trying by all means to make sure that we are registered. When people Google or research us, they must find that really our school is authentic and it's not a fly-by-night. But even so, let's say for worst case scenario, because it's a Pan-African school, you find that in a Pan-Africanist movement, that Black people are the ones who are standing against you, or are standing against your progress, trying to block this. I'm very critical, or I criticize the ruling party so much, and it is them that is in government, and they see the YouTube videos and they say, oh, it's that boy who talks too much, block his registration or whatever. You'll never know what will happen. And we're saying there's still other ways, but those ways we don't want to reveal them now. We still want to go the commercial way of registering the school with the department, making sure that our paperwork, everything is fine. Our topic today, can you guys, let me see what's going on. Welcome to our live chat, remember. Okay. Can someone just write a comment? Let me see if the comment section is open. Can someone just send a greeting? Send a greeting, excuse me. Can someone just send a greeting so that we know that we are alive and kicking? I see the hearts, I see the likes. Thank you so much for that. Okay. We can hear you, King. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, leadership. Thank you so much. So the topic today, ladies and gentlemen, is Pan-Africanism. It is Tawang Sezola. Thank you so much, Tawang. Thank you so much for coming in. I appreciate your presence here. And I hope we're going to have a fruitful debate, and make sure that when we come out of this live, that there is if not a better understanding of what Pan-Africanism is when it comes to political parties. We're going to come out with a clear understanding of how politicians operate, and being able to respect their space and understanding it properly. So, Ola King, I'll be sitting at the back listening carefully. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, my brother Mabaso. Hello, King. I'll be sitting and listening at the back. Thank you so much for tuning in. Also, check out his YouTube page, the 360 Experience. You can see him there on the comment section. You can just quickly check out his YouTube channel. Also, analyst, a politician analyst like myself. So you can like and subscribe on his channel. Ola King, good to have you here, brah. Thomas, yes, Thomas is also here. It's Thomas Mavas. Thank you so much. My argument is that accepting other races in the Rainbow Nation is just good politics. Okay, Tabang wants to start the conversation. So the conversation today, thank you so much, Tabang, for that comment. The conversation today, I did make some notes on my phone so that I don't speak, all around the place, so that I can keep entering you. I want to start this discussion with a quote from Frederick Douglass. Frederick Douglass said, "It is easier to build a strong child than it is to rebuild a broken man." That is the note I want to build. I want to start the conversation today, to say it is easier to build a strong child than it is to rebuild a broken man. Now, by that, Frederick Douglass was referring to the coming generations, to say these generations that we are in, and we can take it literally with the South African generation, to say this generation that we are in has been infiltrated by the white structures. The white systems are in our mind. You find it in our names, you find it in our religion, you find it in our ways of doing things. We as Black people have grown to the fact that we need whites to confirm that what we are doing is actually good. When white people are not involved in any movement that we are doing, we see ourselves as lacking. But when white people ruled, they never cared about how Black people perceive them. They even never cared about how the rest of the world perceives them, because white people, they are united. They do understand that white is superior to Black. That is their mindset. That is how they carry themselves. So now, the psychologically defeated African is a spiritual vampire, because they will fight tooth and nail to protect the master. Do you understand what I'm saying to you, ladies and gentlemen? I am going to read your comments. Please let them come in. Tabang, I'm going to start with yours. And Mandela made the mistake of thinking that white people actually want to rebuild South Africa with us. Mandela made the mistake that white people, and we're speaking about apartheid government. Mandela went to go and collect a Nobel Peace Award with de Klerk. That white people are actually there to rebuild with us. You understand what I'm saying? He made it very clear that, you know what, let's work with these people. These people, they've got the interest of South Africa in their hearts. And that mistake is the reason why South Africa found itself where it is today. I don't apologize for being pro-Black. And I will never apologize for being pro-Black. Now, the argument here, Tabang says, my argument is that accepting other races in the Rainbow Nation is just good politics. Go and tell that to the people of Orania. Go and tell that to the people of who wants to recolonize Cape Town. What do you think those people are doing? Good politics for who? Which revolution in Africa has involved white people in their parliament, in their movement, in their structures, and gave back the people their land and gave back the people their resources because they involved white people? Let's speak my African people. Let's speak my African people. Let's make examples. And someone said, no, King, don't reason like that. EFF will be the first one, and EFF will always be in the majority because black people will always be the majority of EFF. It's not the numbers, it's the ideology that we are speaking about. And there's nothing wrong, ladies and gentlemen, there's nothing wrong with the EFF. The Julius Malema saying, I need white people to be in the structures of in the EFF because that reflects the demographics of the country. I agree with that. I totally agree with that. It will reflect the demographic of the country. But then do not then say you are a Pan-Africanist political party. The first strike of the EFF was them standing against the Ugandan government. When the Ugandan government said, no, listen, in this country, we don't allow this LGBTQ movement to be publicized. We don't allow it in our country because we are Africans and we don't subscribe to such. You understand? They stood on a Pan-Africanist principle to say the African family is being threatened by this movement. Then you find a Pan-Africanist political party in South Africa standing against the Ugandan government and saying, listen, no, leave those people to live the way they want to live in Africa and do as they please. We know these things started overseas. We know these things started in America. And we see Americans now standing against the LGBTQ movement because it's being now taught in schools. Because once they defeat the government or once they win the government, they will then introduce it to schools. And you find these people teaching small children explicit sexual content from a very small age. So I stood up and said, no, I love my EFF, but I disagree with this stance. I disagree with this stance. I don't agree that we should give LGBTQ QPT plus A plus movement extra rights. They should have human rights, meaning they should be respected like everyone else. Nobody should discriminate you. Nobody should judge you because of your sexual orientation. But once we start talking about promoting it and then publicizing it and teaching it to small children, I have a problem with that as a Pan-Africanist. And I've got a right to my opinion, as you've got the right to your opinion also. Because remember, it is easier to build a strong child than it is to rebuild a broken man. Uti, King, I respect you, but I think your timing is wrong. The rate you are going, you are becoming another Ngizwe without Thomas Mabaso is here. Happy to hear you. You dump on Malema, sadly. I'm not dumping on Malema. I'm an EFF supporter. I'm an EFF supporter, but I'm not a yes man. I'm not a yes man. I've got my own mind. I will never insult Mr. Malema. I can never be compared to Ngizwe Mtunu. I can never be compared to an anti-revolutionary. I will never, ever, you'll never hear me speak ill about Malema. I think he's one of the best politicians we have in South Africa, and I wish the EFF all the best. In fact, I wish the EFF into power. That's what I would say. Understand? But there's red flags that I'm warning you, my African people, that if we go at this rate, this Mandela route of saying, let's include these people into our organization, let's include these people into our structures. That is why we find ourselves where we are 30 years later. Because he did not only say, let's include white people in our structure. He says, when I say let's include Indians, coloreds, and white, I don't mean one, a lot of them. So meaning when white people recruit white people, once you speak against the white culture, they will say, the leaders that are in power, they will say, but I'm trying to recruit people, and Mr. Malema, you are speaking like this. Can we just change the tone a little bit? And we don't know the background of that statement. That statement for me is a statement that's got funding behind it. For me, I might be wrong. I hope I'm wrong. Jesus Christ, I hope I'm wrong. The 360 experience is not a Pan Africanist podcast. Yeah, Thomas, I don't think Thomas has ever claimed to be working a Pan Africanist podcast. He's got different views working politically, as we've got all different views. And for me, I just respect everyone who's got their different political ideology. I've got my own. I don't think I'm all right. I don't think other people are all right. But I'm just trying to stick here on my lane that is being pro-African. That is being pro-African. Someone asked me, King, what are you saying? Are you saying in the Pan-Africanist school, you're not going to allow white learners to go there? Of course not. What is the use then of calling it Pan-African? Why don't we just call it the School of Economics, Technology and Agriculture, and leave the Pan-Africanism away? Because if we want to claim that we are pro-black, then we must stick to that narrative that we are pro-black. A white learner to the school is taking one space away from a black learner. You understand what I'm saying? I'm definitely, there is not going to be a white lecture in the Pan-Africanist school. There is some African cultural things that I want the teachers to transfer the knowledge from African people to the African child. That the fabric of those things, the grassroots of those things that white people will not understand. It's like explaining to a white child how it feels to comb your hair. Those African feelings that other people will not understand. You understand what I'm saying? Good evening, peace in Pan-African. Thank you so much, Shakhe. Thank you so much for tuning in. The invitation is simple. I need to understand if you believe there are other Carl Nihans and in South Africa. Imagine EFF full of Carl Nihans and Kim. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. There is no other Carl Nihans and Kim Hiller in South Africa. If there is, put them on the comment section. And I hope they are under the age of 40 years old. Because in the apartheid days, the way white Africans, the Dutch people treated us, it had other white people. Other white people saw the injustice. They said, but no, man, you can't treat other people like this. In the apartheid days, today's day is different. Today's day is like comparing our grandmothers, the quality of women our grandmothers and mothers are to today's children. You can't tell me that you can find the same quality of African wives now compared to them. You can find a percentage of them, but you can't find them like the way they were grown back in the days. So for me, I don't know any Carl Nihans and any Kim Hiller in today's world. If there is, please go on the comment section and tell me if I'm right or wrong. I want to know, is there another Carl? I'm not against the Carl Nihans. I'm not against Kim. I love those two people. I love those two people, but I don't know of any other white people like them that are younger. They were in the apartheid days. There were a lot of them. It's not only those two. There were quite a few in the Communist Party. What is his name? My goodness, why am I forgetting the founder of the Communist Party? Can't even think. My apologies for that. But what you call, in today's world, there isn't. You cannot say now you are forcing, because the word that Malema used is, I now insist that there must be white people in the structure. That word insist is the problem I have. And again, I repeat, I don't have a problem with white people being in political structures. I think they've got their own parties where they can go and participate. When we talk about the fabric of black people, it must be by black people for the people. For me, at least, that's how I see it. You understand? It says Thomas is a well-known guy. Guys, leave Thomas alone. Guys, leave. The reason why we are Pan-Africanists is to convert our African brothers and sisters. Let me continue with my continue. I say we must solve the African problems. We must solve the African problems. The African problems must be solved by African people. Correct or not? Who must solve African problems? Who must take us away from speaking English? Who must take us away? Because for me, we cannot be half Pan-Africanist. You know, let's take out the street names. Let's change the town names. But no, let's learn in English. It's fine. Let's continue learning in English. Nobody's speaking about the educational system. But they want to change everything else. They want to change everything else. We're still carrying our apartheid Christian names. But we want to change the street names, but the white name that you have, you don't want to change. You understand what I'm saying? That is when you see that name, and this person is a Pan-Africanist when it suits them according to topic that suits them. But topics that challenge them as Pan-Africanists, then they go to insulting. King, you are a sellout. You are becoming a Ngizum. Just imagine, Ngizum. My goodness. But anyway, we are here to discuss. Feel free to leave your thoughts on the comment section. Be respectful. Be respectful. Like I said, my disagreement with this point of the EFF does not mean that I'm anti-EFF. I still believe and I still maintain that the EFF is the best political party to take over from the ANC. I don't see any other political party. Yes, I do agree that Jacob Zuma is a true Pan-Africanist, that one. I do agree that Jacob Zuma is a true Pan-Africanist, but I'm not sure if he has the organization to do the things that he says he's going to do. And I don't think that he has got the biology, the physical power to run for another 5 years. I love Jacob Zuma with all my heart. And the reason why we love Jacob Zuma is because Jacob Zuma is hated truly by our enemies. There is no way your enemies can love you. And you are a politician that is pro-African. There is no way. There is no way. There is no way. You ask any white person and ask him who is the worst president from the ANC. All of them will say Jacob Zuma. All of them. All of them. They will say Jacob Zuma had the 9 wasted years. You ask Africans, and so who is the best president? When did we benefit, us as Africans? You find that Jacob Zuma's name comes out in the top 2. Some might say Thabo Mbeki, some might say Jacob Zuma. But those who say Thabo Mbeki don't understand the philosophies of Pan-Africanism. We as black people, our lives never got better as when Thabo Mbeki was in charge. With the 2/3 majority, never gave the land back, never did anything for us. It is through this uneducated Jacob Zuma that more black millionaires were made. You guys call it corruption because white people were no longer eating the way they were eating. Their money was being transferred from white to Indians and black. Some of you were not happy with that, but us who were watching from a distance, we're like, this one is doing something right, man. This Jacob Zuma is definitely doing something right. Why do they hate him so much? They went on a national strike that Zuma must fall. The white people were sick and tired of this guy. He announced free education. He was going crazy, this guy. You understand? Serge says, listen, King, a good topic. I'm a fighter, but I have learned in that our fellow fighters does not want to hear turns here the truth here. It is not only the LGBTQ saga against Museveni and Paul Lumumba. Remember the BLM saga. It's true. It's true. And I think the EFF acknowledged what they were doing because Professor Lumumba came and said, not in Africa can we tolerate this. We're not going to formulate extra rights for 10 letters, the LGBTQ 10, and then they put a plus at the end. What is the plus for? You are either male or female, or you are a male that likes other males, a female that likes other females. That's it. It's two genders, male or female. There's no problem with you as a man liking other men. Good for you. Continue. It does not bother me. You understand? But we cannot introduce that in our school because now the teacher is teaching my child that you can be a boy today and be a girl tomorrow. My child comes home confused that what? Papa, today I'm a girl, I'm a princess. My boy child, the African tradition is being threatened through that movement. Okay, thank you so much, guys, for remaining respectful on the comment section. And black people, we don't acknowledge the trauma that we have because of colonization in us. We have a serious mental slave problem. We have a serious mental slave problems. Black people don't believe that Africa can speak one language. Africans don't believe that we can speak Kiswahili, all of us. And I'm telling you, it's going to take time. I was telling this other friend of mine today, he says, King, even if we try to teach, I don't think these people will accept. I said, you are right. Our generation has got colonized trauma. It's not easy to put this into our generation. People born in the 80s, in the 70s, even in the 90s, some of the 90s. But the coming generation, if you start them from a small age and teach them Kiswahili, and they're teaching Kiswahili in Zimbabwe, they're also teaching Kiswahili in Ghana, they're also teaching Kiswahili, obviously, in Congo, in Kenya. If they teach Kiswahili in Nigeria and Burkina Faso, Niger and Mali, our future generation will be then able to communicate to each other without any tribal or religious barriers. We have to plant the seed. That's all we can do. It's going to take time, ladies and gentlemen. But if we don't plant the seed, English and French, Portuguese, and other languages will continue to dominate Africans forever if we don't do anything. And you find Africans are the ones who stand against the pro-African agenda. Let's include these people in our movement. No, and I understand politics. Guys, I understand politics. I understand the political strategy that Malema might want to do to say in the international economy or in the international world, I want the EFF to look all inclusive while we are going in the background and doing our own things. I understand that. And And I also have a problem with that. I'm saying, why are you worried how people perceive you or view you when you are a pro-African? Why worry about how other international communities will view the EFF? So because you are worried how other people are going to see you, you want to, and I don't have a problem with colors and Indians because they are not treated the same as white people. And colored people we must stop this thing of colored people. Those are black people. They like it or not, those are black people. We come from the same bloodline with these people. Yes, they were diluted with a white gene, but the black gene is dominant in any mixture of two genes. The black gene will always be dominant. Go and have sex. Me and as a black man, go and have sex with a Chinese child. That Chinese child is going to come out black. We have the dominant gene. It is well recorded, guys. It's well recorded. You saw Trevor Noah. Trevor Noah has got a white father, a Xhosa mother. Look how it looks. Black. Black. He says, hello, bro. You really love the EFF. Of course I do, man. Of course I do. Remember, we must vote for an alternative. The best alternative right now is this EFF. As a Pan-Africanist, I can't get everything I want from a political party. If it was up to me, I would want black first, land first, because those ones were militant enough and they scared the enemy enough to a point where they were even deregistered as a party because they were pro-African. But I can't have that. They are not here. I voted for them to 2019. I voted for black first, land first. By that time, the EFF not yet convinced me that they are true Pan-Africanists. You understand what I'm saying? But since the developments of recent times, I've been bought into the EFF to say, but this party, forget about Julius Malema, Msan and Josie, they've got Dalimpofu, they've got Osis Ompile, they've got Tambo, they've got Warkeman, advocate Busisiwe Nkum, and I was like, no, but this party has got depth in it. This party has got depth in it. You understand? I believe they can do something better than the ANC, because remember, we're comparing with the ANC. So as a Pan-Africanist, I can't have everything that I want from a political party, because political parties will always toe the international road carefully, so that they can't be viewed as how do I put it? I don't want to say racist. They can't be viewed as people that want to attack the white people and attack. Remember, once you toe that line carefully, you are never going to go against the banks. That is why you saw ANC doing nothing about the rand manipulation saga. You saw ANC doing absolutely nothing because they have to toe this line carefully. And once you start towing that line, you never get off that line. You will tow it for the rest of your life. Be all inclusive. Be like Mandela. It's fine. Be like Mandela. Let everyone love you. And you want to be loved by everyone. Every culture, every religion, everyone must love you. Tow that line. You will see you will give nothing to the black people. I think you are wrong, my brother. Mashabe Uri, I think you are wrong, my brother. The EFF is an international organization. Yes, I like that. Therefore, it has to include all cultures, and I like that. I like how you say that the EFF is an international organization. I agree with you. I didn't know. I saw them as a pure Pan-Africanist movement. And the problem is I'm even adding pure, because the PAC and the APM and the UDM and which other Pan-Africanist movement is there? The IFP, political parties that claim to be pro-African. They made me put the word pure before Pan-Africanism because they dilly-dally. They dilly-dally behind the Pan Africanist agenda. You know, when someone asks you, King, are you going to have white people lecturing at your school? To be politically correct and to in fear of how other people will view me as racist or whatever, I will then not answer that question straight. I will say, yeah, listen, if we have a white person that is truly who truly believes in African in the freedom of African people, a white person who no, answer the question. The answer is no. We're not going to have any white people teaching our black people. That is the reason why we open in Paseta. So I agree with you, Barkiman. I agree with you. The EFF is becoming an international, organization. But watch the governments of Africa. Make an example of me and say, King, look at that country in Africa. They included white people in their structure and they are doing good. The black people are winning the land back. The black people are winning the minerals back. Give me one example that say, King, this is how it's going to turn out. Because my example is Nelson Mandela. Loved by everyone. Indian, colored, black, white, Chinese, Portuguese, French. Everyone loved that man. So he had to toe a rope of making everyone happy. You understand what I'm saying? Forgot his people. Had a two-third majority, never touched the topic of the land. Thabo Mbeki came in, also loved by many. The white people loved him because the economy was growing. Black people continued to suffer. Only after Jacob Zuma came in, then it was like, hey, there's a difference here. Some black people are winning. Not all of us. Not all of us. Some. That's why, Tina, we were Tina. We didn't open any companies and go for this tender thing because we were busy judging from far. Those people are eating. Hey, those people are corrupt. Hey, the Guptas. But the thing is, the white people were no longer eating the way they used to. Because remember, with Thabo Mbeki and Nelson Mandela, they were free to do as they please. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. There's a lot of Kim and cows even today, King. Even in the racist Cape Town. Yeah, it's fine. Name one. Name one that we know. Name one. You know, don't tell me there's a lot because you know that's not true. There isn't a lot. Name one. Name one Carl Niels and Tim Hiller of today, a white child. White people don't even send their children to the army anymore. In the apartheid days, it used to be compulsory. When you turn 18 years old, you go to the army. The white people understood the importance of a strong army for a country. And remember, they were fighting us. So they had to continuously strengthen their army. Today, they don't even send their children to the army. They don't care about South Africa. They don't care. They don't care. Go and tell those people in Orania to be all inclusive. Go and tell them, say, listen, be all inclusive. Black people must also stay with you guys as long as they believe in what you believe. Because other colored people that don't see themselves as black, they see themselves as Afrikaners, want to stay at Orania but are not allowed. Why? Because they are not Afrikaners. Huh? You understand? So I'm waiting for you guys to give me an example of Carl Niels, a young one that we know who does not necessarily have to be in politics, but who is vocal about the rights of black people, who is vocal about the land being given back to black people. Give me one example. I'm not looking for 300 examples. Don't give me many examples. Give me one name that we all know. Don't now say you're Pete Pampunkis and we don't know this Pete Pampunkis or how, because we will Google him. I've got the researchers here. PST says, King, you are not alone on this thinking. I too disagree with the same stance of, and you have a right to disagree like I too do. But that does not separate me with the EFF. Like I still do disagree with my parents too. Yes, and I think people take you know, unmatured people don't know how to argue. And immediately you disagree with them, then you are an enemy. It cannot be. It cannot be. Look how you guys started attacking our brother Thomas here on the comment section and all that. Leave that man to do what he's doing. Leave him to run his race. Let's do what we are doing and try to convert as many people as we can to the Pan-Africanist movement, the Pan-African way of living. You understand? To say, when I see another black person, I see a brother that I must support, I see a brother I must protect. Whether that brother or sister is coming from Zimbabwe, Nigeria, or whatever, I must see an African brother, because black people have been through the most in history. Nobody loves black people. You understand what I'm saying? So yes, we can disagree. And I will continue to say, I will disagree, because I'm not an EFF member, I'm not an EFF leader, so I can disagree without any consequences. You know, there's other EFF leaders that disagree, but they can't voice it out, because they will be dealt with, and that is the nature of politics. Once you go against the party line, once you pull against the party line, they will deal with you. You can't come and say, but I feel like, yeah, you are wrong, Mr. President. They will deal with you. You can't come and say, let's not vote with the DA. The DA is actually our enemy. Yes, the enemy is also ANC, but the DA is a white party. Let's not vote with them. You can't say that. Once the leadership says we are going with the DA, you have to go and vote with the DA. That is politics. You understand? Politics can take Pan-Africanism and put it aside and vote with white people. Then after voting with white people, go and fetch Pan-Africanism and stand on it again. That is the nature of politics. Politics, they change. Politicians change like the weather. You understand? Also on the LGBTQ movement, what people do in their bedroom does not define their politician ideology. Why can't the lesbians be Pan-Africanist? Okay, thank you so much for the question. Because it disturbs the African belief of what a family structure is. The African belief is men, women, and then those men and women have a child and have children. That's African. You can go into the Egyptian paintings, you can go to any African story, any African whatever, you will find men, women, and children. You won't find the men and men. It would have been a famous story that the whole world tells that you Africans have been gay forever. This is why we are saying they are right. Politically, so they can vote for any political party. They can vote for any political party, and they can also claim to be Pan-Africanist, meaning you can be a lesbian person and want the best for Africans. Understand? And we can also speak about an African, a leader, a black African leader like Mmusi Maimane, that then goes and marries a white person. He can come and tell you, some of you, that no, I'm pro-African, man. I'm pro-African. I love my African brothers and sisters, but I will not marry one. Unfortunately for me, I love this white one. That's who I married and whatever. Some of you will be convinced. Some of us are not. And there's nothing wrong with it. Lesbian people can claim to be Pan-Africanist. But like I said, other people are Pan-Africanist when it suits them. When you say, as a Pan-Africanist, we need to grow the African family, then they can reproduce. They can reproduce. They can grow the African family. Their bloodline ends with them. And the African bloodline is very important. What the child does, he does in honor of the father and his bloodline. It is through that honor that I want to make my ancestors proud. That's why I'm having children, and my children have to, you know, the belief of my culture, the belief of Africanism. That is the issue. My problem with the CIC is that he supports some of the agenda which are posed by WEF. Exactly, the WEF. the world, what do they call it? The world for whatever it is. But that is the thing. And again, I will reiterate a lot of times that, guys, there is no better political party in South Africa than the EFF. There is no, but I'm saying, don't be shocked the EFF gets into parliament and then gets pressure from the international community, and they don't give you land back. They don't touch the banks. They don't touch the mines. Don't be surprised, because I'm telling you, touching the land, the banks, the minerals will cause South Africa to almost be like Zimbabwe. Are you ready, you guys? Are you ready to see all white companies closing in Africa because of EFF is in power? Are you ready for that? You know, since 1994, every time we elected a black president, white people has been leaving our country. Every time after elections, we elect a leader, they go. And the highest number was during Jacob Zuma's time. Even with Cyril Ramaphosa, there are still white people that left the country. They're like, oh my God, another 5 years of ANC. Nyemat ekani. Ekani me di mense lokom lievene. Ek los die mense uit. Kom ons gaan Australia toe. Ek vat my hele sakke, ek vat my hele familie. Ek gaan Australia toe. Ek kan nie nou lewe met die klomp Afrikaners. There are also white people that left the country because of electing black people. Those are the people that you say we must include in our strategy. Someone is saying hi. Say hi. Thank you so much. Does Pan-Africanism mean sidelining other races? You see, when someone asks this type of a question, it's good that we have this engagement. It's good that we have this engagement. So let's say Pan-Africanism is Kaizer Chiefs. Does favoring Kaizer Chiefs mean that you can't favor other soccer teams? Yes or no? Does saying I am pro-African mean that you can be pro-African but also include other people in that Pan-Africanism that you speak about? When you say you favor Kaizer Chiefs, can you also favor Sundowns? Can you? Think about it. Think about it. We're trying to make it simple terms so that people can understand what we are talking about. Can you say you favor Chelsea, but you also favor Manchester United? Or can you say you favor Manchester United, but you also favor Manchester City? Does it make sense? Does it make sense? And remember, we are not saying go and fight white people. We are not saying go and hate white people. We are saying be pro-African. Take care of your own. Take care of your own. I must not forget my points that I wrote down. Africans does not use African money to build African institutions. I'm going to read your comments, guys. Keep them coming. Yelio says, Julius Malema Mandela will be president. EFF, we support you as the USA. Yes, the people of the USA support Julius Malema. That is very good. We love that. I really appreciate it. Let me just read this before I make my other point. My brother says, I like that you understood the mentality of Kim. Let's agree that there is a lot of her. No, I said name one. You don't want to name one. There isn't a lot of Kim healers in South Africa, especially young ones. There isn't. I don't know of one. Give us the example of one. There is no other Carl Mears in South Africa. You can't find another one, especially young, youthful white person that is standing up and say, give back the land to black people. A white person that is saying that in their 20s, in their 30s, in their 40s. I'm even saying 40s because a 40-year-old is an old person. They were born in the 70s. Old person. You don't find one. You can't name me one. So that might not give us African solutions, but they can be represented, or you suggest that we chase them out. Kim herself says if you watch the interview, she says, we must be chased out of Africa because of the crime that our ancestors committed against these African people. There was a white lady in America who said, speaking to the African Americans, saying, white people don't understand why you people are not angry. A wise man once said, white people have to be lucky that black people want equality and not revenge. Black people just want to be mixed with other races. It's only us. We are the only only race that has the sickness of wanting approval from other races. Only us. The Chinese don't care about white people, black people, and whatever. They speak Mandarin. They speak their own language. You understand what I'm saying? The Chinese president will never speak English. The Russian president will never speak English. Forget, you'll never see it. The Japanese president will never. Only black president are begging for approval by speaking other people's languages. Only us. It's only us that does that. Only us that. Malema is power hungry. He can do anything for power, even sell away principles. There are some African principles that Malema has neglected. That is true. Does not take away that when we look at the political landscape and we are thinking about voting for an alternative, the EFF makes sense. The EFF makes sense. I'm saying, don't be surprised. Don't be surprised and say, King, you didn't tell us. King, you didn't warn us. When we don't get everything that they promised. Don't be surprised. Don't be surprised, guys. True. What people do is in their bedroom does not determine their political ideology, but the emotion and sexual preference influences the politics that are taught to our children. Yes, yes. Think, be gay, be gay. My mother said to me, when we grew up, there were some scared men, gay men. And I was like, oh, what's wrong with this one? Always playing with boys, acting like a girl. But those people never asked for what you call extra rights. They never tried to teach their gayness to small children. They never. It is only now in the digital age that this thing is being made famous. Our children, when they swipe through their phones, you find that oh my God, they are watching Coco Melon, and a Coco Melon is teaching that a boy can kiss a boy on the lips. They are teaching that. You understand? So I don't know. I have to tell you guys how I feel. So for me, it's very important. Correct LGBTQ Malema disappointed me big time. Many people. For that strike to have been that strong of the LGBTQ movement, I was shocked, man. I was shocked. What is this now? You are standing against a black government that is saying we are not going to subscribe to this type of lifestyle. I get it. The thing was, don't have a death penalty, because in their legislature they wanted to pass a death penalty, and Uganda turned around for that and left it to sentences like 25-year, 10-year, 15-year, and all that. I don't agree with people killing other people for their sexual orientation. I don't agree with that type of nonsense. What type of a human are you wanting to kill someone? But if you are the government and you have power, you can keep the teachings of LGBTQ movement out of the mainstream media and out of the schools. That's the best you can do. You cannot stop people from being gay, because some are claiming it is biological. They were born like that. So you can't argue against it. You understand what I'm saying? So as a Pan Africanist, there's other things. My goodness, I hope there isn't more surprises from the EFF from me. Understand? Bright says, what's the EFF stance on LGBT? I don't think I agree with their position. Me, I need continuity in our race. Yes, there was the EFF stance was let people be whatever they want. Don't stop media from reporting about, because the Ugandan government said you can't publicize this, you can't play it on TVs, you can't put it on radio stations, you can't put it on magazines, you can't put it in the school system. If we see you, there is a sentence for that. That was the Ugandan government. You remember when we grew up, when we watched General Young Person, that we had Senzo and Jason kissing on TV. Yeah? I think there was some males that kissed on Yizo Yizo. Who was it? I think on Yizo Yizo also there were two males that had sex. Who was it? On Yizo Yizo. Oh, it was what's that guy Bobo's friend? Utiza. I can't remember. You guys remember Yizo Yizo? Utiza went to Johannesburg and went and dated another man there. You guys can tell me. But I think that was the time when we started seeing gays on TV, and that influenced the gay culture in South Africa. Because once people see it, it becomes normal. Once you start watching Somizi every day on TV, and you are a boy child, you can get confused. Like, why is Somizi wearing a dress? Why is Somizi having this type of hairstyle? Why is he wearing hair like Mama? You understand? It confuses the black child. That is what we are saying, and I think that we are. Antonio Sandile continues to call Malema a seller. I don't think he's a seller. He's a politician. They are strategists, these people. Politicians, they are strategists in what they do. The real African names for Africa, diaspora says kissing. Remember, it's all in the game plan. Explain yourself. I'm not sure what you are saying. What they teach our children is different topic altogether. I think we all agree with that. Let's not dwell too much on this LGBTQ movement. Again, black millionaires and black billionaires don't build institutions for black people. They build businesses, yes. They build businesses, yes, but they don't build institutions that promote the black agenda. You guys agree or not? King, it's a question again. How will you teach black consciousness if you imagine a Paseka without young whites in it? You are correct that it will take time, but that time it integrates with the young. I'm not going to teach white people. What is it that I need to teach white people? Mm-hmm. What is it that I must teach white people? What is it that I can teach a white child? Not to hate. I must teach a white person that a black person is equal to them. What is it that I must teach a white person? What is it that I must teach a white person? Or rather, better question, what is it that a white person can teach a black being? The problem is we have taken our black children and taken them to these modesty schools, these private schools, and I'm one of them. I was in private schools my whole life, so I'm speaking out of experience. We take our black children that we want to be black conscious and love each other. We take them to the white school. The white school teaches them, it divides them. It teaches them classism. It likes more other black people. They are richer than other black people. It likes these black people because their skin tone is lighter than other black people. That's where our children learn hate, self-hate in the white schools. You understand what I'm saying? They teach them there not to love each other. We take them for their developmental stage. From 7 years to 12 years age, you develop a character. You develop a character. That is why I started this live stream by quoting Frederick Douglass, who said, "It is easier to build a strong child than it is to rebuild a broken man." We are broken because of the system that we grew up in. Now, the system we grew up in wants us to include white people. King Norman, it's a Pan-Africanist school, but include white people. Why? Why? Remember, we are talking about 7% of the population that own 80% of the land and own 90% of the resources of this country. What am I going to teach that child? To give back the resources? Why don't I teach my child to take the resources? Why don't I teach my child to fight back? Why don't I teach my child how to farm? Why don't I teach my child technology and how to be involved economically? Why don't I teach my child policies on how to get their own bank? Why don't I teach my child? Why am I worried about another child, another race from another child? What is my concern about those people? I have no business teaching those African children. They are being taught very well. African people are doing good teaching their children. They are taught very well. They grew up in the farms. They grew up in the economical activities. When they grow up, they are already involved in their parents' businesses. Well, what is it that you can give to your child? You don't have land. You don't have a farm. When you study a chartered accountant, you become a worker. You don't own the firm. You don't own the accounting firm. You don't have businesses that are listed in the JSE. You don't have anything as a black child. But you want me to take my energy instead of teaching the black child and then focus on another racist child? No, I cannot do that. I cannot do that. Then I am not a Pan-Africanist. Yes, we can do that, but we must then not claim that we are Pan-Africanist. We must then not claim that we are Pan-Africanist. Kim Heller, the one that you are quoting so much, is saying, the reason I left EFF, you guys saw the video that I played. He said, I asked myself, what is a white person doing in this black organization? And then she followed it up by saying, I saw black people that can do what I do and do it better. And remember, she was elected as the Deputy Secretary General, the first white one, in 2014, guys. In 2014, that's when she was in the EFF, and she left the EFF. Listen to Jaco else. My principal's name was else. Says, did I read everything? Yes. My friend, I think we should forget about the past. We need to rebuild, and also there will not be anything left to rebuild, or else there will not be anything left to build. Yeah, forget about the past. Forget that you were raped. Forget that your land was stolen. So why is it, what are we rebuilding for? Because we're rebuilding because we lost. Forget about the past. Forget that we are speaking English and not our own language. Mr. Els, I'm sure when a Jaco else, I'm sure you are African. Forget about the past, man. Yeah, forget, man. You black people must just forget. Leave the apartheid names alone. Never mind about changing the name of Johannesburg. Johannesburg, the serial killer that killed people when they were opening mines in Johannesburg. Kimberley, a serial killer that was throwing black people into the big hole. There are families that could not bury their family members, their fathers, because they were thrown in the big hole by Kimberley. Forget about changing Pretoria's name. Forget about changing all of this. Forget about the past. Let's just rebuild. What are we rebuilding? That is the mentality that people want us to have as Pan-Africans. We must just forgive. We are the only race that is being told to forgive. The only race. Other races are not told to forgive. The Jewish will never forgive Germany for the Holocaust that happened to them. And they even got reparations from that. But black people, forget about the past. Forget about apartheid. Forget about Solomon Mahlangu, who was 21 years old when he was hanged. Forget that before he was hanged, he was asked, what is your last words? And he said, tell the people that my blood will nourish the tree of freedom that will give fruits to the paraphrasing him because now my mind is going. But anyway, Solomon Mahlangu that was killed, forget about them. Forget about the children of 1976 that were killed and shot dead because they didn't want to be taught in Afrikaans. Forget that post 1994, we still be taught in Afrikaans. Forget about it, man. Forget about it. Never. Not in my school. Not in my movement. Not over my dead body. Not in my family. Not in my friend circle. I cannot forget the crimes of apartheid to my people. I cannot equally forget the crimes of colonization to the African continent. I refuse to forget. And I refuse also to forgive. I refuse. As a Pan Africanist, I'm putting my feet down. I'm saying until we win back our land, until we win back our culture, until we win back our tradition, until we win back the Ubuntu spirit amongst Africans, I cannot forget. Yes. NYC, nice, South Corolan, and Ultra stands with. Sorry, guys, I can't see some of these words properly here. So Carl Nia's children will not be allowed in Baseta. Carl Nia's children are black if they identify as black, because Carl Nias right now is married to a young black child. Carl Nias is married to a young black child. So that makes Carl Nias' children colored. And I consider coloreds as black if they consider themselves as black. But if those children come out, because they'll obviously have, you will see them that they are black. They will not look like Carl Nias. They will look like black people. The most, they will look like coloreds. If those children come out there and think that they are better because their father is white, then we cannot allow such things in our school. So, and again, you can see I'm not trying to be politically correct when I'm answering you. I'm giving you a straight answer. Carl Nia's children are not white. They are not white because he did not mate with a white woman. But if you talk about the children, maybe I'm not sure if he has got children. I'm not sure if Carl Nia has got any children. Anyways, if he does, and his children are not vocal like their father, that should tell you a lot also. That should tell you a lot. They have a lot to offer. They just need to keep their sexual orientation into themselves, okay? And he says, I totally agree. It's not like they go around trying to recruit everyone to join them. They are going around recruiting them. How gay people are recruiting small children through social media. They are recruiting them through social media. And also it has infiltrated the entertainment industry. You start seeing the lesbian community being very explicit about their sexual orientation in their music videos. Look at, for example, in America, Little Nas. Look at what that little boy is doing. Look at what that little boy is doing. Here in South Africa, our greatest example is so easy. Understand? Don't have a problem with him as a person, but what he practiced, I would not want my children to practice that. So I would not want them to, and my children love bargain idols, but now there's this thing, and you don't know what to do as a parent because you're hopeless. You want your child loves singing, they're watching idols, but Somizi is there. You think they are not programming them. Everything that we watched as young people, we try to do in the streets. We would watch a Chinese movie. After the movie finishes, we are outside. Why? Because children learn by seeing. Children are visual animals. You can't tell a child, don't drink, but you are drinking. The children copy. They say, monkey see, monkey do. It is true. Understand? So the LGBTQ movement are recruiting on social media because they are not yet allowed to recruit in schools. They would go there also. But in Canada, in America, and in the UK, they are recruiting in schools also. Children, I'm talking about at crèche level, grade R, and they will in America they will bring in a man in a dress in the class, and that man will teach them. The American community even took some of these schools to court to say, look, what are you teaching our children? So yes, they are bargaining, recruiting. Jay, why blacks are being favored is wrong, but when colonizers are being favored, it's okay and normal. Nice. Jay is asking. Wait, when Chinese are pro-Chinese, they are correct, it's fine. Nobody will say, Chinese involve black people in your movement. When Russians are pro-Russian, nobody says involve black people. When white people are pro-white people and doing whatever they're doing, nobody says involve black people. But when black people are pro-black people, then it's like, no, man, let's involve white people. Let's include them in our structures. It's only us. And I will repeat, Franklin Douglas said it is easier to build a strong child than to rebuild a broken man. We have the trauma of colonization in our being, in our whole being. That is why we don't want a movement that is only black. We don't want it. We don't want it. You understand? So that is what Jay is asking. He says, studying in your own language is worse than 30% pass rate in colonization language. Listen to what this man is doing. This man is dropping knowledge there. Listen to what he's saying. You people. Bills are being drafted to push this at schools. Well, you guys are arguing this thing of LGBTQ. Look how much energy you guys we have to do with this LGBTQ. I think my other brother must just say that he's gay or whatever, or he's got a gay child, a gay family member that is trying to protect you. We don't have a problem with those people. Don't have a problem. Don't have a problem. But if I'm going to teach Pan-Africanism in this school, in Paseta, Pan-African School of Economics and Technology and Agriculture, I cannot have a gay teacher there. You're going to take the focus from what we are trying to teach. You guys. Oh, my brother, on point taken. I feel you. Whites don't need any affirmative actions in Africa. All whites, whether in SA or abroad, are privileged already. And that's what Kim Hiller said. That's what Carl Neal says. White people are already privileged. And to take this privilege away from them is going to take more than 200 years for black people to think they are equal to white people. Black people don't think they are equal to white people. You bring a white person, let them stand here, and a black person, let them stand here. And say, these are the two doctors, who would you want you to operate you? 90% of black people will choose the white doctor. Go in the comment section and tell me if I'm right or wrong. King, I don't know where to contact you. Can you please do a review on the De Beers interview, essay, relations, and ECOWAS? Okay. I've spoken a lot with ECOWAS. Let me try to note that one for you. De Beers interview. ECOWAS is a bunch of losers. ECOWAS is a bunch of losers. Those who don't know what ECOWAS is 15 countries in the east of Africa that have that have relations with each other to say we will work with each other as the eastern the countries in the eastern. ECOWAS is like SADC, and there is another organization of the west, the countries in the west side of Africa. I just forgot its name, but anyway, there's another one in the central also of Africa, and the SADC also. So we've got the east. I'm not sure if the north, those Islamic terrorist countries have got They're like Tunisia, Morocco, and Egypt. I'm not sure if they have an organization or whatever. ECOWAS is those 15 countries that say we're going to work together as African countries. But ECOWAS is not controlled by ECOWAS. ECOWAS is controlled by France. France is the country that colonized almost 90% of those countries in the east of Africa. Most of them speak French as the official language of their countries. So ECOWAS is just a pure rubbish. When Niger stood up against France and saying you are selling our magnesium 80 cents per kilogram. You are buying it 80 cents per kilogram from us, but selling it $200 to the world market. Why are you doing that? When they stood up and started fighting, and the military took over from their former president, Mohamed Bazoum, who was the president of Niger. I don't understand how he became the president, because he's not black. He's not black. And that's the thing I'm warning you guys about, that you don't want to listen, but it's fine. Then France started, France was so evil when it left other countries when they were giving them independence. They went to their sewage pipes and threw concrete so that the people can't use toilets anymore. That's how evil France is, trying to destroy the infrastructures that they built during the colonization days. That is how evil French is. Those countries that speak French, most of them can't speak English. That is why you hear the best president in Africa, the youngest also, who is only 35 years old, by the name of Ibrahim Traoré of Burkina Faso. He can't speak English, can't communicate to the rest of Africa like Julius Malema does. He speaks French, and French is only spoken in the eastern part of Africa. So he can speak to those people, Mali, Niger, Burkina Faso, Côte d'Ivoire, and all of those people will understand him. But when he makes a speech, he is not heard in the SADC part of Africa, because we don't speak French. And Malema is made to be the great hero of Africa, because that guy is not being understood. And that is why we advocate for one Africa, one language. If you are speaking an African language that we can all hear, Ibrahim Traoré would be more famous than Thomas Sankara. In fact, they call him the resurrection or the reincarnation of Thomas Sankara. I think he has already done better than Thomas Sankara, honestly speaking to you guys. Yes, so I will make a video about ECOWAS, and this De Beers interview that you're talking about. I did not hear it. I think Don Connor is Carl Neals of today. What political influence does Don Connor have? What political influence does Don Connor have? What activist work does Don Connor do that liberates black people? I can tell you what Carl Neals did. Carl Neals was on the ground. Don Connor is is behind the phone, and he's one of the best YouTubers and TikTokers in South Africa. Drops a lot of knowledge. If you don't know Don Connor, I would advise you to follow him. He's the beanie boy, the white boy with the beanies. Good, but there isn't anything that he's doing for black people, Don Connor. There isn't. The best he can do is to do a YouTube channel and inform us on what is happening and what is not happening. But he will never stand up and advocate for land to be brought back and do something about it. That's why I said we cannot claim to be Pan-Africanists here on YouTube. The coming generation will judge us and ask us, what did you do in your time? When you were young, what did you do? In your 20s, in your 30s, what did you do? I can't say I opened the YouTube channel. What does opening a YouTube channel benefit the African child with? That is why we are building the school. The school, we are building it so that we can leave a lasting legacy. It cannot be that the best we can do is to open a YouTube channel and try to conscientize people about Pan-Africanism. No, that is nothing. I will die. If I die today, there is no contribution I made to the black agenda. My videos can be played many times, maybe even made case studies somewhere. Other people, you know, when you die, your videos trend. Maybe the videos will trend. Yeah, and they'll say, your king was a true Pan-Africanist. What did King do? Nothing but YouTube. So I don't respect the influencers on YouTube that are talkers. I respect doers. So I consider myself also as a talker because we are in a process of being doers. So Don Kana is not a Carl Neas. His family has not left him like Carl Neas. His family has chased him away when he was still a schoolboy. His whole family turned against him. His father wanted to kill him because he was so advocate in a time when it was not fashionable for a white person to do it. He was there and he served in the political structures of the ANC. Because I'm telling you, we cannot influence anything in Africa without doing it through politics. Politics is the main tool that changes the lives of Africans. So I hope I answered your question about Don Kada. Good young man, might add. Good young man. Go and follow him on Twitter, on TikTok. I'm not on TikTok. I think I have an account, but I'm not active on TikTok. Follow him everywhere on YouTube. Everything that you want to follow him, you can learn from him. But learning from him, then what are you doing with what the information is telling you? If he talks about currency manipulation, of which you broke it down so nicely, how does it change that currency manipulation is happening and it's going to continue happening? Nothing. That's why in Paseka we're building up the lawyers, because we want to have a legal structure in Paseta that is going to act like what you call AfriForum. We're going to have a legal leg in Paseka that is going to act like AfriForum, meaning when political injustice is done, when racist acts are done, we can take people to court privately. We can't wait for the ANC to do something. We take APSA to court to say, Nedbank, they are saying you are charging black people. Here's the evidence. Then we take it to court, pay back our people. That is the actions of Pan-Africanists. Not reporting it on YouTube. You report it on YouTube, so what? You guys understand what I'm saying? Tabangs is deep. Will Africa open borders lead to a united Africa? How can it not lead to that? There is some chaos that is going to come with it. And that chaos is Africans moving freely will disturb the white monopoly capitalists. And white monopoly capitalist is not only white people, it is black people who are insecure with their space. They want South Africa to South Africans, Zimbabweans must stay away. They want South Africa from South Africans, Nigerians must not be here. Not knowing of the economical opportunities that opening borders does. You say, have a passport that you're going to move, an African passport that can take you to any African country, and you don't pay to enter or leave any African country. Not a visa. Can't have a visa to go to Zimbabwe. You understand what I'm saying? Can't have a visa to go to, and other African countries are open to each other. Botswana, Zambia, and Namibia and Botswana, South Africa. Other countries are open to each other, but it's not throughout the entire African continent. And also, it is not taught in school. So people don't understand why is it that people want to open these borders. Understand? Because now South African truck drivers are beating up Zimbabwean truck drivers. They say you must not drive in Zimbabwe. But South African truck drivers are driving goods from South Africa and taking them to Zimbabwe. So are you saying they must offload them at the border, and at the border Zimbabwean drivers must then take the goods and drive them in Zimbabwe? How pathetic is that? So as a South African truck driver, you can't go to Zimbabwe because you want to kill Zimbabweans in South Africa, so you cannot go and enter Zimbabwe. That is the type, and it is only us that do that. If a white Zimbabwean truck driver drives from Zimbabwe to South Africa, those black South Africans will do nothing to that white person because he does not show nationality. He shows privilege. He's protected because of the skin color. You understand what I'm saying? So yes, apologies for these ones who are swearing at Malema. You know how these people are. I'm South African. Victorious. King, you got me on the knees speaking Afrikaans, imitating the Bruce reaction. Yeah, what can I say? My Afrikaans is actually very good. Very embarrassed that my Afrikaans is good. My Afrikaans is better than my other languages, and I'm a South African that speak all 11 languages, but my Afrikaans is better than Venda, Tonga, and yeah, only those two. Only those two. My Afrikaans is better than those. That's Black Hat. Black Hat, you have to start posting some content of your clothes on YouTube. YouTube is not a playground. It's a platform to promote Black consciousness. So everyone, just go on Black Hat. You can see him there. Black Hat. It says the hustle continue. Like his YouTube page, and let's motivate him to resurrect his YouTube page. Today you are angry king. I'm not angry. I'm not angry. I want my African people to wake up. I want my African people to wake up. They want us to pretend as if apartheid never happened. Huh? People asking you, are you not going to allow white people in Paseta? What type of noise? I'm building Paseta so that African children can learn in Paseta. Pamben. And okay, I did say someone has to stand for Africans because nobody's standing for us. I'm just looking at my notes. And again, I'm saying you can't be Pan-African when it suits you or on matters that suits you. You understand what I'm saying? I can't have a name like Jacob, Israel, Peter, Kagiso. Kagiso is my African name, and Kagiso is my only name. I can't have those names, Jacob, Isaac, and Peter, and Kagiso, as my four names. But I have a problem with a town named Eastern Cape, and I want it to be changed to Gqeberha as a politician, as a Pan-Africanist. But I'm not changing the names that I have. Think about it. You want to change everything, but you don't want to change you. Because it is not only the names that must change, it is the mentality of the African child that must also change. You guys understand what I'm saying? Apartheid makes sense when I watch this and I'm Black South African. Yeah, listen, apartheid was a system that continues to live till today, that continues to work till today. The reason I'm speaking English is because of apartheid. The reason why we are speaking in English. And you see Mkhonto weSizwe being deliberate about not speaking English. You see Mkhonto weSizwe being deliberate about not speaking English. All their rallies, all their events, they speak in the indigenous language, which is Zulu. I would like them to learn other language, but you can't teach old people new languages. Old people, Nina, that's why we're opening a school for kids, because with you, we have given up. Apartheid has won over you guys. There's a slight percentage that is left with Black country. I'm included in, when I say you, I'm speaking to us. We are defeated. We have the apartheid scars, the colonization scars. But if a child is born and in hospital, all the signs are written in Kiswahili. It's not written emergency room or labor room. It's written in Kiswahili. And that child is born into a world where stop on the stop sign is not written in English, it's written in Swahili. That child goes to school and that child hears their parents speak Kiswahili, and that child is taught in Kiswahili, and that child grows up in a place where their parents have got a farm, or the school that they are in is encouraging farming and encouraging economical inclusion. That child would be different. With you guys, with us, forget. Rena re paletswe. Sihlulekile thina. Impela yo. I need to be president. Yes, we need to be president so we can change this. King, politics and ideology concepts are not African. Even Pan-Africanism is a foreign concept. Now we are busy contradicting ourselves with foreign concepts. You are right. You are right. You are right. But as long as we agree, let's remove the tag Pan-Africanism, because the tag, we have given it a new meaning. You understand? It's like saying King Africa. Africa is actually not the true name of Africa. We need to change that name, and yeah. But the tag of Africa is now related to the skin color. It's no longer a word. It has changed now to, when you say Africa, African, you're speaking about a black person. You can see on the forms, when you fill forms, it says white, African, Indian, colored, Chinese, and others. I'm not sure what others means, but anyway, they put it there. So when you say Africa, you're speaking about us Africans. So if we concentrate on Pan-Africanism, is not even a concept that is not from Africa. We are saying Africans first. That is the concept. Africans first. If by Pan-Africanism you mean African first, then we're okay. We're on the same road. Thank you for that contribution. Are you pro Malema? Justin Judas, pro Malema. Pro Malema. The meaning of that is changing for me. The meaning of that is changing for me, because I believe the more popularity the EFF gets, the more it's going to change. Now I believe in what the EFF is standing for, although I have differences in some of the ideology that they are preaching. But I'm saying, in all the political parties that we have in South Africa, the EFF is the best one to take over from the ANC. I'm not ignorant to that. I'm saying, as a Pan-Africanist, sometimes you don't get everything you want from the political party. So you've got a ticking box that you want. You say, I want land, tick, and you check if this political party is talking about giving back the land. And if they are, then you say, I want the street names and the city names to be changed. I want educational system to change. I've not heard of any political party in South Africa speaking about educational system changing. I've not heard of any political party in South Africa talking about taking Afrikaans and English out of schools. That is Pan-Africanism. So you're not gonna get everything that you want from a political party. So I love the EFF. I love what they are doing. I must voice out my disagreement with some of their policies. That is just me as a Pan-Africanist. And I must say, because I want to believe that some of you are Pan-Africanists or are inspiring to be Pan-Africanist here. And if Pan-Africanist is diluted, you guys won't know the true meaning of Pan-Africanism. And I'm telling you, there is no Pan-Africanism that includes white people in their structure. It's only a political system that can do that. And I understand why Julius Malema might want to do that. But I'm saying we must then be careful about throwing this tag of Pan-Africanism to anyone. It must not just land to anyone. This Pan-Africanism tag cannot go to anyone. And once the colonizers start loving you, like they loved Cyril Ramaphosa, like they loved Thabo Mbeki, and they like Nelson Mandela, they won't. You are not a threat to them. That's why they love you. If you are a threat, they will send someone to assassinate you, like Chris Hani, like Robert Subuku. You understand what I'm saying? They will kill you. They will make sure your country suffers like Robert Mugabe. They will make sure they kill you like the Mozambican hero Samora Machel. They will kill you. They will assassinate you like Thomas Sankara. If you are a threat to the white monopoly capitalists, they're going to kill you. But if you are not a threat, they will not have a problem with you. And I am saying, once white people don't have a problem with you, you are no longer Pan-African, because it means you are not advocating for the rights and the lives of black people properly. But what you saying now, King, is exactly the reason why people always change their minds, right? And last minute when they have to go put the X. Thank you so much, Gina. They are afraid of being another Zimbabwe. Yes, and politicians are also afraid of being another Zimbabwe. And remember, Gina, what I said or what I always teach: an African country can never raise against America alone. America is the states. They've got how many states? 40 to 50 states. And those states, like New York, you call it a state, but actually it's a country. New York has got over 6.5 million people. So New York is bigger than Botswana. New York in population is bigger than Namibia. It's bigger than, I always make this example. You guys hear me making this example a lot. So a single African country cannot rise against the colonizers alone. If Zimbabwe took the land back, South Africa also took the land back simultaneously with Namibia, Zimbabwe, Nigeria, and whatever. Africa was going to win the war. But one country at a time, it's not possible. So people fear. People are driving Gemini cars. People are staying in town. You know, they don't want bombs to come and bomb us here, like Palestine. People don't want to die for the African agenda. They want to speak about it on YouTube. They don't want to do anything about it. Africans are not ready to go those lands, because if Africa stands up against the United States and against UK and say you are no longer taking what you call sanctions, you are no longer taking raw material out of Africa, and the UK and the US force sanctions on Africa, it will make an example out of South Africa. It will show other people that if you try to rise and try to touch our minerals, we are going to make an example, or we're going to make an example of you, like Zimbabwe, like South Africa. That is why African politicians are towing the line. Just yesterday, the Kenyan president said, I don't understand why is it that Russia, a single country, can summit the whole of Africa to them. What is it that we are gaining from Russia? Russia is almost 60% snow. That is why they are fighting with Ukraine, because they want the other land for agricultural purposes. They can't farm the way they want to, Russia. But you find African countries that got all the minerals going and lick Putin's ass. That Putin does not even want to speak English to you guys, the language that you understand. You speak in Russian. You guys will get a translator that will translate to you guys. Yeah? How funny is that? Hi. Tina says, did I read everything here? Tina said, yes, I did read that one. They are afraid of being another Zimbabwean. Did EFF Call of Duty Pro? Did EFF won? No. The elections are not yet. We don't have an election date yet, my brother and sister. We're going to get an election date. It's going to be later, maybe in June or May. So no EFF has won yet. We wish EFF can win, to be honest. The apartheid would not have been a violent thing, but people started striking, and that made violence. Listen to this mentality. Listen to this mentality. When was apartheid not a violent thing? People were not killed because they were striking. People were killed because of land was getting taken over. People were displaced from their original land, and that did not happen through negotiation. It happened through the barrel of the gun. Stop talking nonsense here. Okay, King. Okay, King. I agree, but at the very same time, let him stay in his lane because it seems someone bought him because he is really the opposite of our agenda. Yes, yeah, let people stay in their lane. I'm not sure who are you talking about, but let people stay in their lane. Uh, there are white jobs. BE is corrupt. Nathan Johnson, how is BE corrupt? Can I ask? Hello, hello, hello. Can I ask? Continue to ask Dream Empire. I'm getting to the what you could say in the comments. So please drop your comments. Feel free to say anything respectfully. So I will get to it, Biggie. By the sound of things, King will not accept that there is young white kings and whatever. According to him, they should be famous, and to him, otherwise they are not there. I'm not saying they should be famous. I'm saying when the one that you know in your community, who is that? You have rightfully named Don, and I said yes, I agree with you. Don does advocate for fairness and equality. He's not necessarily advocating for black consciousness and black Pan Africanism, whatever, but I'm saying if I ask you what has he done to change your life as a black person, you can't tell me one thing that he has done. Understand? Unless informed you, unless you say informed you, and I ask you what did you do with that information? Nothing. I'm saying black consciousness is us building institutions that change our lives, not playing around with TikTok and YouTube and talking and debating amongst each other and then sleeping and say, yo, I debated King for 2 hours. It was so nice. It does not help us with anything. It does not help because we have to think about the coming generation. You understand what I'm saying? We have to think about the coming generation. You're not going to see Carl Diaz's children being pro black like Carl Diaz. You're not going to hear anything about Kim Haller's children standing the path that their mother stood. It's very unlikely. So yes, I'm saying I don't know. I'm not saying there isn't. They are not there. I'm saying I don't know of anyone who is in politics now, either in the DA, in the PA, in the ANC. One white person that you can name in the EFF, in any political party. One white person that you can name that says, "Let's give back the land." One white person that says that, and that says I'm willing to surrender the land, because remember when some farmers gave back the land when they did the land expropriation without compensation bill. Some farmers said, "Okay, I agree. I've got too much land. I can give a part of it away to the government." And I work for the Department of Agriculture, so I know some of the land that was handed over by farmers, and I know some of the land that we bought from farmers. I work for government, so I'm speaking from a privileged point of view of information. I heard you saying that we can teach Kiswahili as a common language in Africa. My main Swahili is not African language. Here we go with another one again. Well, it is a colonized language. That language can come from Arabic plus African languages. There you put African in it, so it's African. It's fine. Every African language derives from other African languages. There is an influence of an African language. You know, we call it the Nguni people, the Tutsis people, the Nama people, whatever you call it. There is an influence of one way or another. If you say not Kiswahili, feel free, Simon, to what you call suggest another language. But remember, it must be a language that you can study from grade R up to university level with that language without changing. You know how you can study in Afrikaans from grade R to university? They've got textbooks of Wiskunde and engineering in Afrikaans. So if you can choose a language that we can study with from grade R to university level in that language that already has textbooks, because we don't want to start from the beginning. You can feel free to give us a suggestion there. I agree with the point on schooling system. We are outsourcing the education to our children, and we are confused when they want to move away from the culture and tradition. That is the point. There is no white person that is going to teach black children about initiation schools and about the importance of initiation schools, about manhood in the African community, about Ubuntu, about the cultural beliefs, the norms of black people. Where will a white person know those things from? Where will they know? So all they're going to do is teach history, or teach biology, or teach science, or teach maths. They cannot overlap in teaching African things because they are not Africans. That is why I say in the Pan African School of Economics, Technology, and Agriculture, it's only going to be black teachers, unapologetically so. You can be angry on roll on the ground and do whatever you want to do. I'm not going to have in a black Pan Africanist school white teachers. It will be working against what we are building. Understand what I'm saying? Matthew says, leave the country, then man is going in. And we have to go in. You are preaching, King. We won't forget our past. Thank you so much, Katleho. Thank you so much, my brother and sister. Katleho is the guy that designed the logo of the Pan African School of Economics, Technology, and Agriculture. We thank him for that. What school did you go to? Matthew is asking, if you don't write King, I'm not sure if you're asking me or you're asking someone in the comment section. But if that question is to me, I went to 10 different schools. I went to Ntsoseng in Matempule in grade 1, then went to a boarding school in Delmas in grade 2, then moved to Musi Primary School in grade 3, then moved to Osen School in Pretoria in grade 4. In grade 5, I was in PS4E in East Lane. In grade 6, I was in Lars School Alma in Limpopo. In grade 7, I was in St. Peter's in Kwandebele. In grade 8, I was in Althea in Bronkhorstspruit. In grade 8, I was in grade 8, I was in that school I'm forgetting the school. In grade 8, I was in St. Peter's. In grade 9, I was in Althea in Bronkhorstspruit. Grade 10, I was in Kimberley Boys High. In grade 11 and 12, I was in Cultura High School in Bronkhorstspruit, where I matriculated. That is my school journey. Those are the 10 different schools that I went to. Okay, forgive what? Do not recall anyone apologizing. Exactly. So I answered the school one. Nobody apologized to black people. And nobody will ever apologize to black people because black people are not demanding an apology. Which black government is demanding an apology from colonizers? Because once we get to the G20 or American ambassador try to speak here in South Africa, must say, hey, listen, before you start talking, apologize to what you guys have done to our country. The British, the Dutch, before they speak, apologize first. You're not going to speak here before you apologize. And we are not going to accept your apology, but anyway, apologize anyway. Because you guys, what you have done for 300 years here in South Africa is uncalled for. You are not provoked. You came here and killed our people for no reason. You stole our minerals. The king and the queen of England are wearing gold and diamonds that are from Africa. Apologize. But nobody's saying that. No politician will say that because they will be cancelled. Politicians must toe the rope. Politicians must toe the rope. And to make it very clear, this thing of white appearances, I want a place in an Africa where only me and other blacks like me see each other as nothing else and nothing else. Maybe I can come back to life again. Yeah, we are not saying other cultures must not coexist with us, because remember, white people, there is no country, a single country in the whole world that you can name where white people are living in harmony with other races. Not even one country that you can make. There isn't one country that you can name in the whole world, especially here in Africa, that got independence, but not through the barrel of the gun. There isn't white people, there is no colonizers that gave independence to African nation in peace, out of their own will. Say, guys, South Africa, take it, it's fine. There isn't. My heart is beating so fast, my king. Yeah, this is this discourse. Yes, what country are you talking about? Yeah, there is no country like that. We don't want, like I said, we are not saying other people must not coexist with us. Mavuso has been a minute since I've seen you. Knowing it's because we know that we are fathers and mothers, and this world, very human race, started with us black, and it is seeking from equal rights, nothing else. And that's exactly what I'm saying about Africans. Africans want equal rights. If you say equal rights, you want equal land to a white person, forgetting that they are colonizers. The land is actually not theirs. You call a Zimbabwean a foreigner, but you call a white Dutch South African born athlete or fighter an African, like Dricus du Plessis. You call them Africans, forgetting that we gave their ancestors citizenship here. They gave them citizenships. So if 90% of the population is Africans, why would I want equal to my white person? Why would I want equal? What does equal even mean? Huh? What does equal mean? Equal means that we don't fix the historical injustices. Because if we fix them, then it means I must be favored by the black system so that I can catch up to the white person. Thank you so much for that contribution. This is a multicultural, my king. Is this multiculturalism? Yeah, this multiculturalism nonsense. Yamasimba. Why can't we have a gay teacher? Listen to this rubbish. You come ask me why can't we have a gay teacher? Not on my side. I want to block that nonsense. Brother J, how are you going to change the fiscal policy? We need to move away from the dollar. Only if African countries unite. Mohammed, only if African countries unite. There is no way Africa's currency is not going to be stronger than the dollar. All African presidents, they know that. If Africa unites behind one currency, it's going to be stronger than the yin, the what you call it? I'm just saying the yin and the yang. And the pound, the whatever currency, the African currency will be stronger than any currency in the world. But they are afraid to do it because they've got their hands in the cookie jar. They are stealing with our colonizers, our politicians. They've been given money monthly by our colonizers. So they can't speak it out. But every African politician knows that an African currency will be stronger than any currency. And an African army will also be stronger. They make you believe that Africa is the same size as America. It's not. It's 2 to 3 times bigger than America. You can fit Asia, in India, and China and America into the landscape when we count kilometers of the land of Africa. But they don't want to tell you that. Credo Muntoa said there will be party that will rule Africa, and that party will wearing red. The reason why the daughter joined EFF. Malema is very spiritual. He says, and it happens the way he said. Credo Muntoa ran from Soweto to go and stay in Kuruman. My wife had the privilege to sit under a tree where Credo Muntoa was saying stories. I'm so jealous. My wife does not stay far from where Credo Muntoa used to stay, his house. I am so jealous that I never got a chance to meet such a person like Ubabu Credo. So jealous. So if Credo said it, okay, let's hope that they will rule. Guys, I'm going to continue. I'm going to close the chat now. We are almost at 2 hours. Islam terrorist countries. Did you just say that? Yes, I did. I called what you call the northern countries, Morocco, Tunisia, Liberia, Egypt. Those Arab countries are anti-African. They don't treat black people equal to themselves. In fact, you would think that Egypt has got no black people. You would think that Liberia has got no black people. Libya, sorry, not Liberia. Libya has got no black people. The way they treat their own black people. If you watch what you call, if you research what is happening in those countries, you will see those people are terrorists killing us Africans, the skin color, like nobody's business. So yes, without fear or favor, what you call, I don't consider those countries as full Africans because they don't see themselves as Africans. Can you speak Afrikaans? Ja, kan baie mooi Afrikaans praat. Luister, ek bly in Kimberley in. En Kimberley Afrikaans is die taal wat ons praat. Ons praat die taal elke dag. Jy kan kry 3, 4, 5 swart manne. En daar is die 'n boer langsam, hulle praat Afrikaans. Afrikaans is die eerste taal in Kimberley in. En ek was nie hier gebore nie. Ek was in Mpumalanga gebore. Ek het hier geskuif kom ek sê 2007 toe my ma het werk die ander kant gekry, toe kom bly ons die ander kant en toe ek het nou Afrikaans regtig geleer in Kimberley in. Such an embarrassment that a person can speak Afrikaans like that. Such an embarrassment. Signing out family duties. Good chat. Thank you so much. Asante sana. Asante sana. Asante sana means thank you very much in Kiswahili. Asante means thank you. Sana means very much in Kiswahili. Coco as a king. My vision of JZ before he got distracted by the Guptas is in Malema. The old man does not have the energy to complete it. Let him sit at home and allow himself to be consulted by young blood. I agree with you. I agree with you, and I love Jacob Zuma with all my heart. Will always say Jacob Zuma is the best president that South Africa has ever had so far. 82 years old, the man is too old. We cannot be speaking about other African countries like Liberia that just elected an 80-something-year-old president. Nigeria has got an old Madala as a president. Many other presidents are old here in Africa. and we turn around here as a Pan-Africanist movement and elect Jacob Zuma. But if he remains as an advisor of Mkhonto Wesizwe and he's not the president himself, I don't think it's a bad idea, because I honestly think Mkhonto Wesizwe will change black people's lives. I honestly think that. So, but of course, we wish that the EFF will. Who is this guy? Which guy? Which guy? If he's speaking about me, he's speaking about King 053, Mr. Easy Imali and my name is Kagiso Hlongwane Zinjiva, a Tsonga boy from Mpumalanga, born and bred in Mpumalanga, KwaNdebele, in a place called KwaMhlanga, one of the most beautiful places that you will ever see in terms of infrastructure development is KwaMhlanga in KwaNdebele, where the Mpumalanga legislature was once at before it moved to Nelspruit. It was in KwaMhlanga. So we've got a parliament, a smallanyana provincial parliament in KwaMhlanga. I then traveled the whole South Africa. Like I said, I've been in 10 different schools, mostly white African schools, and then later moved to Kimberley when I was in grade 11, excuse me. And then my mother found a job this side. So after my father passed away, my mother wanted to go away from KwaMhlanga because it reminded her a lot of my father. And the problem with that is that my mother married my father. My father is royalty in Guyana, comes from a royal family. So they did not want my father, who is stronger, to marry my mother, who was petty, because they are tribalists like that. Even last year when I went to Guyana to see my grandmother, she would ask me, Kagiso, teka mfati omtsonga man. Teka man. But they want me to marry a Tsonga woman. I'm married to a Tswana woman. But as a Hlongwane, they expect me to marry Tsonga woman because of my bloodline. So I'm that guy. So came to Kimberley, did a lot of things. I'm an artist. I'm a socialist. I'm a communist at heart, and Pan Africanist also, and never been in a political party. I've been involved in political activities, but never actually signed for any political party, and I don't think I'll ever will, because it will limit my freedom of speech. And then what can I say about myself? Young man married 10 years this year, 10 years this year in marriage, 12 years with my wife. I believe in building a strong African family structure. And I believe I'm a Christian also, Pan-Africanist who's a Christian. I believe in the higher powers. Also, I'm not neglecting my African spirituality also. So, yes, that is in a nutshell who this young man is, who this guy is. That is me. I'm very young. I'm in my mid-30s. You will never get land. Yeah, well, that's what you will think. You don't know slavery, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Which land are you referring to when you say taking expropriation? Legit question. Yes, when we talk about expropriation without compensation, we say the government, as a Pan-Africanist, this is how I view it. The government will take all the land, all the land, black, white, colored, and whoever land, take it. Now the land now belongs to the state and the traditional council. And from there, the government will then redistribute the land according to the needs of the people. So when they redistribute the land, you can still keep your home wherever you are staying, because that will be your land. You'll have the title deed to your home, but you don't have a title deed to the land. The government owns that land. If the government decides to build a road through your house, you move out, they give you alternative land. So when they redistribute the land, they will never give 80% of the land to 7% of the population. Do you understand what I'm saying? So when we say take the land, we mean the mines, everything must be owned by the government. And the government, with the traditional council, because we're Africans, must redistribute the land back to its people according to the needs of each community. So you can't have a stand where your stand is hectares, but you are one family, and other families must stand in a 20 by 20 meter house stand. That is what we mean when we say the land. Every building, every land must be taken by the government, and we trust and hope that the government will then redistribute it to its people according to the needs of its people. And the stupid people will say, how about giving back all the land to the Khoi? The Khoi people, I stay in Northern Cape. I work with Khoi people. And when you say Khoi, you must be specific, because people like to confuse the Khoi, the San, and the Nama people. And I teach you guys always about this, that those are not the same, that is not the same tribe. But the what you call the underlying factor about Khoi, the white people and the colored people they like asking this stupid question, as if Khoisan people are not black. The Khoisan people are black. They are Africans. Don't try to classify them outside Africa. They are Africans, but their footprints, because luckily with the Khoisan, they left footprints everywhere they went. So in caves, they will do some Khoisan drawings on rocks and whatever. Here where I stay in Kimberley, I stay in the Northern Cape, the population of Khoisan people is here in the Northern Cape. The biggest population of Khoisan people is here, especially in Namarkwa land, in the Springbok areas and Namako South and East. So the Khoisan people are the black, but there is no footprint of the Khoisan people in Limpopo. They did not own the whole of Africa. They do not own the whole of South Africa. There is no footprint of Khoisan people in KwaZulu-Natal, in Mpumalanga. These three provinces where the Khoisan have got their footprints is Northwest, Northern Cape, and Western Cape. That's the only. So you can't say we must give back the land to Khoisan as if they owned the whole of South Africa. They were not in the entire South African land. We must stop making that stupid what you call contribution. Thank you so much, guys. So yeah, we've reached 2 hours. So I'm closing. The white boys made it to the chat. Yeah. And it's good that you see white people, the way they are speaking to us. You see even some other colored people, how they are addressing us on the chats. Once you start seeing white people like me, once you start seeing people of other races liking me, just know I'm not a Pan-Africanist. Just know, this is the point that we are trying to prove with this issue of Malema saying more white people must get into the EFF. Once you start seeing your colonizers love you, you're doing something wrong. And I'm happy to see them speak the way they are speaking. It brings so much joy to me to say, oh, at least I'm doing something right. At least I'm doing something right. Because it is not possible that white people can like me as a Pan-Africanist. It's not possible. It's not possible. It's not possible. So yeah. Let's be realistic. I heard Jay-Z speaking very well. Jay-Z speaks very well, of course. It is wise to risk our freedom by voting the ANC. Says this stupid white person says did not spend one day in apartheid. Apartheid is still a system. that is happening till today. Talk about, for me, I've experienced apartheid in white schools that I've been in, where in the hostels where we were staying in, we were separated from black and white. They made it to seem as if no, the Afrikaners children are staying in Alunde, and the white children, the English speaking children are staying here. And the English speaking, obviously, it will be us and colors, and the African speaking will be only whites. Even in the class systems, they discriminated us like that, separating us by saying, no, these ones are learning in Afrikaans, you are learning in English. So they must learn in their own class, you must learn in their own class. So don't tell me about apartheid. I've experienced apartheid and racism a lot. So let's take this white boy is off. I'm just trying to conclude your questions on the on the comment section so that I can close. African name was not named by us though. Yeah. I told you guys we know that. We know that. Okay. We know Africa was not called in one name. If you Google the original name of Africa, you're going to get about 5 names. You're going to get Libya, you're going to get Ethiopia, you're going to get Azundunum or whatever. There's many names, but I'm saying the African name we have taken and turned it, white people have turned it into a people and not a land. So even if you are black, when you are born in America, they call you African American. Understand? So why do they call you African American? They're trying to tell you that you are not from here. And originally, black people went to black people are the indigenous people of America, of China, of Russia, of Italy, of Germany. Africans were the first people there. You can Google the history of any colonizer's country. You will see that the footprint of them. Google black Chinese and look at the history. And look at how the first monks, how they built the statues of Buddha. Look at the nose, look at the eyes, look at the facial, everything. You will see it was Africans. Changing the education system into what kind? Can you describe? A kind that is pro-African, a kind that is going to teach African morals, values, a kind that is going to teach African languages, a kind that is going to decolonize our African children away from the colonizers. Number 2, a kind that motivates our children to be involved in agriculture, technology, and economics. A kind that is going to make sure when our African children, the coming generation, take over the economy, they know how to run the economy. They understand the world trade, and also they understand that they can lock the rest of the world outside Africa, and Africa will still be fine. That kind of education system. Umhlaba wonke uzaleni zabantu. Akuna umuntu ongaphathi umhlaba eyedwa, ongaphatha umhlaba edwa. Yini i-socialism? Yes. So he says the world, my brother is saying umhlaba ungaphakathi kwezandla abantu bonke. Yeah, we agree with that. You understand? We agree with that. I'm disagreeing with you. Who do we kill, Tina? Who did we kill, Tina, as Africans? We did not kill anyone. Sihlangu, Bongani. We don't kill anyone. Us just being African intimidates other races. Just you being a black person, you are hated. Just you being black, you're discriminated against. You are looked as a threat. Because remember, everywhere they involved us, remember, they tried to keep us away from sports. The first black person they put in America in boxing, he took over boxing, beating the shit out of these people. They tried to own tennis, golf as their own sport. They put in a tiger in the woods. It became a disaster. One of the greatest golfers, if not the greatest golfer of all times. They tried to hide tennis from us. Once we got involved, the Serena Williams Sisters got in there and took over the whole thing. They tried to keep athletics to themselves. But then, Sofa Paul, John Blake, or Usain Bolt came in. They tried to steal everything from us. But once Africans are involved, it is no longer an equal play field. We are just dominant in everything that we do. And that is why they hate you as an African child. They put you in the educational system. The first black people that were in educational system, universities and whatever, graduated top in their class. Why? Because Africans are great. They don't want you to know that. They don't want you to know that. You understand? I want to close off, guys. You guys are killing me on the Africans first is what I support. I think every race on earth is against black unity. So it is us black people who need to stand up on our own and do it ourselves. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. You can't stand up as the commander-in-chief and say, let's involve white people in our structure. No. We as Africans can do it. Why do you feel the need to bring these other people here? Huh? Have you seen AfriForum say, we need some black people to come in our structure so that we can fight for African rights? Huh? You know how many black people are kissing on the asses of AfriForum? How many black people are donating financially to AfriForum every month? Do you know? But they will never allow them in the structures. Never. You'll never see another black person being president in America. Unless if you're speaking about a puppet. As Americans, how Obama did. All black Americans think Obama was the worst president America has ever had because he did nothing for the black people. But smart move. Take the language of global business out of the schooling curriculum. Are you serious? Yes, I'm very serious. We don't care about global system. We don't care about anything. We care about Africa. We don't care about anything that comes from America, the UK, China, Russia, and everything. Africa has got enough to run Africa. If the internet would close, if the ships would sink, if the planes would fall, Africa would survive. The rest of the world will not survive a full 12 months without the aid of Africa. They need us more than we need them. So I don't care about the rest of the world. Gaddafi had a great plan for Africa, Shem. That was to destroy. They had to kill him. They had to kill him. Gaddafi, those years, was speaking about Africa with one currency. Huh? Gaddafi in those years was speaking about that. They had to kill him. They had to kill him. Amen. 7 away. Hi, Shola. Hi to me now. Who are we blaming for the past colonial state falling? We no longer, in this channel, we're no longer blaming anyone. We are just pro-African. We are no longer blaming anyone. What is blaming white people, black people, our traditional people? What is blaming anyone going to help us with? It's not going to help us with anything. So I don't play that blaming game. It's not helping us with anything. I'm pro-African. So I'm building purposefully for my African children. My African children, only them. Only my African children, I'm building for them. I want them to speak an African language, my African children. I want them to understand African economics, my African children. African spirituality and religion, my African children. I want them to understand what is to work the ground, the agriculture of Africa. I want them to understand African medicine. I want them to understand the African culture. My children, forget about who's blaming who for what. Who do you want us to blame? Who do you want us to blame? To blame ourselves for people coming here and killing us? Who do you want us to blame? Who must we blame? Did we kill ourselves? Did we enslave ourselves? Did we kick ourselves out of our land? Did we change our names ourselves? Who must we blame? What you are saying is racist. Yeah, so deal with it. Deal with it. People are just joined. What are you talking about? I'm going to re-upload it, guys. I cannot speak about all the points. Let me see if I made my points. I still have a point to make about reparations and how long it will take for Africa to learn one language. I'm estimating about 50 years. That's how long it will take for Africa to change from English, French, Portuguese, what's the other language? French, Portuguese, Afrikaans, whatever. It will take about 50 years if Africa does it simultaneously, the entire Africa. If we put Kiswahili in African schools now, it will take about 50 years for our children to fully speak Kiswahili. It will be our children's children who are born into the system that we have placed in today that will speak Kiswahili. Nina jinofunza Kiswahili kidogo kidogo. Kidogo kidogo, what I just said now, ninofunza Kiswahili kidogo kidogo means I speak a little bit of Kiswahili. You understand? So we are learning a little bit. I'll be teaching Kiswahili more. If you go on my channel, you will see there's a playlist titled Monday Kiswahili where I teach Kiswahili to my African brother. Imagine telling black people to apologize for white people. That's what they want. You know, people ask stupid questions. Who do you blame for apartheid? Who must I blame? Yeah? I must blame the children of 1976 that were killed. Yeah, they probably shot themselves. They were not supposed to strike. The reason they strike is why white people kill them. I must blame Solomon Mahlangu for getting hanged. I must blame him. I must blame the Mandela generation for going to Robben Island. I must blame them. I must leave the colonizers alone. People can ask stupid questions. Dude, you used to battle rap. Yes, it's me. I used to battle rap. Yes, that's me. Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso have thankfully sought force against French, for example. It is them that have given us a good example. The Mali general that took over the government, in 1 month he changed French as the what you call as the official language of the country, and then put African languages as official languages. We have to applaud it. These people have been speaking French their whole life, and he gets in there and says, listen, we are no longer speaking French. Fuck these people, they can go to hell. We're no longer speaking French. Burkina Faso did the same. You know, so it takes a strong leader to do that. He says, it's fine, we can get, we can get sanctioned. It's fine. As long as I've got my African brothers have got my back. So Mali and Niger and Burkina Faso, the problem with them, they don't have a coastal line. That is the problem with Mali, Niger. And when you don't have coastal line, you can't deal with ships that are coming, bringing goods and all that. You are now limited to the land, so you can be locked in. You know, if the surrounding countries don't stand with you in what you are doing, they can lock you in, and you can't get things from the coast. And a country that has a coastline, the economy thrives. Thank you for that. Great job, Katlago Semenya. I really wanted to know a person who did the logo. I would really like to see more of your work. Yes, just check him. His company's name is Cat Graphics. Cat with a K-A-T, Cat Graphics. Just check him out. He's the one that helped us with the interview. and equal rights are so close to being made with their dear leaders, Gaddafi. Gaddafi, they had to kill Gaddafi. Regarding single currency, again, Muhammad Gaddafi proposed that idea. Yes, he did. Thomas Sankara also proposed that idea. That's why they killed him. That's why they killed him. African Patrick. Have a perfect question. What is it? Is the solution? How will you make us more powerful than the dollar? What is this one asking? Huh? What is this one asking? The dollar and the pound are backed by the reserve of bank in their countries. They back those currencies because they've got the reserve of gold in their countries stored there. They back their currency. That's why their currency is worth more than ours because we don't have the reserves. So if we stop giving these people gold, Africa can have more reserves than any other country in a matter of a year. So our currency will be backed by more gold. So it will be more valuable than the pound because we'll ask them why is your currency more better than ours. Then they can't say we've got a better gold reserve because gold is the standard of trade. Every currency is measured against gold. Gold is the standard of trade worldwide. That is understood. I hope you got that one. I don't understand what you're saying about Libya, son of the soil. Thank you, Mr. King says so. Continue with the great work and the analyst. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. And but Afrikaans is a moital. Nah, fuck that shit. Fuck that Afrikaans. Afrikaans is a vloektaal. It's not a moital. It's a vloektaal. If you're talking about a moital, you're talking about Swati. Swati is the best language according to me. Yo, high corn. Yo, those people's language is great. $2 donated for Gaddafi. Thank you so much. I appreciate it, my brother, for the donation. Thank you so much. I appreciate it so much. Jamaica is in the house. I see you, Jamaica. Why not form your own political party, perhaps with a green book as a guide to the Pan African Green Book as a guide to functional for 42 years of no. No, some of us are not politicians. We need to stay in our lanes. I'm not a politician. You will take once you get into politics, you die of self. You die of self. Your family will suffer. You will suffer. And politics divides then our people. Because if you are not supporting my political party, then I can't be with you. So I play the safe route of Pan-Africanism. In Pan-Africanism, we say each African, where they are, let them push the African agenda. So we can't judge each other. Whatever you are doing, be pro-Black, support Black business, protect your brother and sister in Africa, from Africa. Do what you can do to better the life of another African person. That is Pan-Africanism. Another African person, not other races. We are not racist against other races. We don't even care about other races. We are just deliberate in protecting each other as Africans. That's it. So I've been asked and approached by the local politicians to join the parties. I don't want to. I don't want to. Maybe if they come and say, King, let's go to Parliament. They say every man has got a price. Maybe, but I don't see myself in politics waking up every day speaking about the rules and guidelines of one political party. I don't want to be limited. I don't know you. I did not know that you were that hardcore. Yeba Faith. If you're speaking about me, Tabang, that's me, boy. That's me. I don't play around. Not with Pan African. You cannot be a half Pan Africanist, man. Hell. Chosen one, where were you, my brother from KZN? It's been a minute. Thank you so much. Just as they killed Gaddafi, yeah, they will kill. They will kill us. They will kill us if we don't protect each other. They will kill us. Remember, what you call the Burkina Faso general Ibrahim Touré has got now 4 failed attempts to his life. 4 failed from within the army. 4 times they tried to kill that man. So yes, once you get into Pan-Africanism, be ready to die, especially once you've got influence. I'm still a small Pan-Africanist. They're ignoring me now, got less than 20,000 subscribers on YouTube. Once we get to the point where we build the school and they start seeing the movement, I can kiss my life goodbye. It's fine. And I'm prepared for that. It will be an honor to be killed because I'm a Pan-Africanist. It's a privilege to be killed for standing up for the rights of your people, because you will die a hero. So they will kill me, but they won't kill the seed that I've planted in the ground. It will be such a big honor to die as a Pan-Africanist. Regressive time has changed and continue to change. Nothing much has changed. Consider the ongoing European colonization and industrial of Africa. Nothing has changed. Huh? What is this one's name? That red, whatever your name is, my brother. Nothing has changed. They continue to colonize us till today. Nothing has changed. And if that does not anger you as a black person, there's something wrong with you. That's why I started this chat by saying it is easier to build a strong child than to rebuild a broken man. We are the broken generation with the scars of colonization in our whole being. We have to plant the seed of the freedom of Africa on the next generation by building institutions such as PASETA, the Pan African School of Economics, Technology and Agriculture, for the next generation to have a better footing in fighting the European and the Americans. Because we can't. We are too weak. We are too divided as black people. So we are trying to say, the next generation, we must just at least equip them with something. Equip them with economical freedom. If we don't have economical freedom in our lifetime, but let's plant the seed. Let's water the plant. Let the tree grow. Even if we die and we don't see the fruits of that tree, but we die knowing that we planted the tree. You hear me, guys? What are you talking about? No one do not understand. Okay, whatever. The question is on point, my brother. Motivated you to become a Pan-Africanist? Because I used to like you. What motivated me to be a Pan-Africanist? The suffering of my people that I see. When a white school discriminates against a black child because of the texture of her hair, it angers me. When I hear that white farmers killed a black farmer because he refused to work, it angers me. When I saw what is happening at the university, Stellenbosch University, it angered me. When I saw white farmers putting a black person into a coffin, it angered me. You know, and I can go on and on. That made me to say, who is going to stand for these African people? And if I'm silent, who is going to speak on behalf of these African people? That is why I'm a Pan-Africanist. When I see Zimbabweans getting killed in xenophobic attack, it angers me as an African. When I see Nigerians getting killed by their own African brothers and sisters, and those who colonize us live freely around us, it angers me as a Pan-Africanist. It angers me that I'm speaking English as an African. It angers me that my fellow African brothers from Angola don't know their indigenous language, but they know Portuguese. It angers me that the east of Africa, 90% of them speak French. It angers me that Africans in East Asia, America, and Europe are getting treated like lesser people, like lesser human. It angers me when I see those things. I watch them on my TV, I watch them on my phone, I read about them on the internet, how Africans are treated the whole world. It moves me somehow. It moves me. It moves me. And I have that question to say, if we are not doing anything, then which world is our children going to grow up in? What type of a world am I giving birth to my children to live in? Are my children going to be discriminated in the nice schools that I'm sending them because they are black? Those type of things have made my Pan-Africanist call even harder or even more serious. That is why when I see white people laughing at us, telling us we must get over apartheid, when I see white people, 7% of the population that is Afrikaners, still getting the majority of the schools. 90% of the schools in South Africa teach Afrikaans, but 7% are the population that speak Afrikaans as their home language, including the colors, also some of the colors. It angers me that Afrikaans is only spoken in South Africa and the Dutch, and learning Afrikaans does not help you in any way, shape, or form to trade with the rest of the world. It angers me a lot that those who colonize us left their footprint. For example, like here in Kimberley, I've said that Kimberley was an evil man that moved the king of Kimberley of that time, where we called Khalishiwe. Khalishiwe is the king that was here in Kimberley, in Northern Cape. They moved them to a place where they called it Vergenoeg. They call it Vergenoeg because they moved them away far from the big hole so that they can continue to mine. And today, this city that has now about 80% black people is still called Kimberley. This is why I'm a Pan-Africanist. I cannot sleep at night thinking about the injustice that has happened to my people and how politicians are playing with our lives. That is why I'm a Pan-Africanist. And I understand that it means I will be an enemy to not only white people, but only to black people who have been immersed and baptized under the white system. Black people will fight me, and probably a black person will kill me for being a Pan-Africanist. Just like a black person killed Shaka Zulu, just like a black person killed Thomas Sankara, just like, I can go on and on. I can go on and on. I'm ready to die for this cause. Unfortunately, if you choose this road, you carry the cross, you're going to die on it. Yo, guys, I've been talking for 2 hours, guys. God bless you, my brother, from Nigeria. Thank you so much, Johnny. Thank you so much from Nigeria. When are you coming to India? Invite me, pay for my planes. My email is, let me write my email there. Invite me for public speaking. Guys, I am an author. I am very knowledgeable about many things that has to do with Pan-Africanism. If you want me to come and speak at an event, I do speak at events. Please feel free to invite your boy King. I'm going to write my email so that you guys um, can see it. Why don't I see the live here? Okay, let me go there. I'm gonna write my email there underneath now. I'm gonna write my email now. It's not the African currency we are mentioning more from Africa for Africa. We all know the solution for Africa progress and prosperity, but all we do is just talking. Yes. Yes. I'm writing my email so some of you can communicate with me, okay? My email is on the comment section. You guys can see it there. Yeah, that's my problem. The talking that we are doing is too much. It's too much. Niels van Langerberg says, "Hello, bro. I don't know why these people are doing in my chat. My chat is for Africans. I want to speak to Africans, and I want to push a pro-African agenda. That's it. India, you are free to invite me. It's fine. You are free to invite me. People like asking stupid questions. They are not asking stupid questions. They are showing us their state of mind and their hate for Africanism. And they don't know that these stupid questions fuel us to even push for Africanism even more. So for me, it just shows the type of community that we are dealing. Exactly is what I'm highly admired to him. I've read the Green Book. I'm going to read the Green Book again. I have not read it in its entirety. I know what you are referring to. I will read to you, thinking they have all the answers, but just have the mind of a child. Yes. Don't forget oil. Oh, if we speak about oil, the oil-rich countries of the world, of Africa, I'm telling you. Let's talk about the needful we have and border and all that. Okay, guys. This comment section, I'm not going to. This comment section is a long. Nigeria is here. The Nigeria is still suffering from the wars in the northern part of their country. Congo is still suffering from the wars in the eastern part of the country, where the US and the UK is funding Uganda and Rwanda to attack the Congolese. The Houthis and the Tutsis started fighting in 1993. There was a tribal war, and now it got infiltrated by the Americans and the Europeans, because the land that they are fighting over in the east of Congo is very rich in minerals. And remember, Congo is the richest country in minerals, and it's got the biggest forest in Africa. So that is why white people and white countries have got an interest on what you call I've got an interest on the DRC. Says this one, Piwe says, why are you ignoring my question? Piwe, I might have missed it. I'm not ignoring anyone's questions. I just keep a lot of questions because it's just too many comments, guys. Piwe, can you write your question again? I will answer it now. What about Ethiopia, bro? Ethiopia is the greatest country in Africa. The only one that is not colonized, the only one that is working with its own calendar, different from other African countries. Ethiopia has got over 150 million people in it, making it the I think the second or third biggest country in Africa behind Nigeria, that has got 230 plus minus million people. And what's the second one? I think Ethiopia is number two with 120. There might be another country there. Ethiopia is a great country. Ethiopians consider themselves as Africans. They don't see themselves as an Arab country like Libya and what you call Libya and Libya, Tunisia, Liberia, and Egypt. Ethiopia is different. Ethiopia is a beautiful country. Umpile, bhala futhi into le umbuzo wakho so that I can answer it and go, guys. The live section is too long now. It's too long. I still have to shoot some content for you guys to get for tomorrow. But I thank you guys so much for the fruitful conversation that we had. And I think we have concluded that as Pan-Africanists, we're not going to get everything that we want from political parties. Honestly, the only political party that was truly pro-African was Black First, Land First, and that political party got killed very fast because it was a big threat to white monopoly capitalists. They had to shut it down quickly. Morocco, Algeria, Liberia, Sudan, Chad, Somalia, Cameroon, and not Sudan. Sudan is a black country, and Chad also. But the rest of the countries, I agree with you. Sudan is a black country. What do you think about African Union? A bunch of useless people. Are they working for Africa? Bunch of useless people. African Union, a bunch of, we cannot name one thing that those people have done for Africa. The African Union have got a memorandum of understanding that Africa must have its own currency. How long has the African Union been in existence? What have they done about decolonizing Africa? Bunch of useless people, those ones. Zaire is here, a fan here. Thank you so much. Appreciated. Apiwe is still typing. Apiwe, what are you typing? A Bible? How? African Union is a business venture because it does not replicate the name. African Union is just useless. African Union is useless, man. It's useless. African Union can't solve even one what you call rebel war in Africa. They don't have a track record where they can save, they can unite African armies to go and defeat one rebel camp. Understand? There's like 100,000 Africans talking negatively about the future of Africans and 2 people talking positive. You all are the West enemies. Unfortunately, that's true. But we are going to change that statistics because the colonizers have really worked, and because we are not building the institutions that works in pro-Africanism, we are regressing in our quest to better the lives of Africans. Like I said, it's Africans that are pushing the resistance of advancing Pan-Africanism. It's Africans that are pushing against it. But it's not necessarily us, it's the system that they put in us as white people that are keeping us away. It's very painful, but it's true what you are saying. Please, guys, can you guys finish? I can't talk forever. It's been 2 hours, 50 minutes now that I'm talking. I'm going to give you 10 more minutes that I'm done. Someone says, can I ask a question? Please ask the question so that I can go, guys. What to do? Critical view. Please ask the question so that I can go, guys. It's been long since I've been here. Malukeng says, I always mad when the African leaders come here in in Addis Ababa for African meeting. Useless African leaders doing absolutely nothing to better the lives of African. Quick question: what is your thought about autonomy of Somaliland and northern? Okay, they are fighting with the they've been in war for a long time. They are fighting now with the Ethiopians over land. I'm not too informed about that specific war, because Somalians also view themselves outside the African bracket. If you look at them and their mannerisms, they don't see themselves as black, unlike Ethiopians. If you go on my shots, you will see there's a shot I did up with an Ethiopian brother. He's a friend of mine who stays in Kimbali called Zolalam. Europeans, Ethiopians see themselves as black people. Somalians, not that much. So I'm not too clued up. I don't want to now act smart as if I know everything that is happening there in Somaliland and all that. But I did read now and then about the war that is happening there. But I'm not fully clued up on as to where it started. Unlike if you ask me about the war in Nigeria, the war in Kenya, I know a little bit more about those wars in the Chad, the war in Burkina Faso, Niger, and Mali. I'm clued up about those ones, but not so much about the war in Somali and what is happening there. I just know what I know from headlines, not deep. I'm an American, and I can tell that I respect and understand your newly found independence. But we will help you all avoid the propaganda that will follow. Do not turn on each other, please. Thank you so much, Teddy. Thank you so much, Teddy, for that. You know what? It is us Africans that should be telling you, Black Americans, that we have your back, because nobody has your back. Black Americans have got nowhere to run, because we as Africans have sidelined them as Americans. They are not. They are Africans. They are Africans. And when George Floyd gets killed by police putting a knee on their neck and suffocates to death, America must know that Africa will go against them hardly, and we will not allow any trade to happen until consequences have been done to the people that kill our people. White policemen kill Africans with their hands up, and they shoot them dead. They shoot them in cars, they shoot them, and Africa is doing nothing to protect Black Americans, Africans in Africa, in America. So Teddy, we should be the one who should be telling you that we have your back, but we appreciate what you are saying. Thank you so much. Umpile, sir, my question is ready. Please, Umpile, ask your question, my lord. Please. How can we abolish the government in Africa and form one government that represents all parts of Africa? Yes, we said Africa is a country with 54 villages. The 54 villages is no longer a truth, because Africa has got now maybe 58 countries. Congo is broken into 2 countries. Sudan is broken into 2 countries. So the countries in Africa are adding up. You understand? With other small parties become other small parts of countries becoming a new country. We said keep the names. Let South Africa be a region in Africa. Let Nigeria be a region in Africa that has a leader. So your president, your current president, will be a regional leader. And all the presidents of Africa will then vote for one Africa president. And that president will go around campaigning the whole of Africa, trying to convince us that we must vote. You saw how Julius Malema has went from African country to African country. So they will do that to say, guys, vote for me as the African president. But they will tell you that you, the country, can't vote for the African president. The president that you nominate will then vote for the African country. So there will be only 54 votes casted for the African president. That is how Africa can decolonize itself from the European borders that were given to us, or the colonizers' borders that were given to us. Thank you so much. I hope that I've answered the question. No, the EFF is not a Pan-Africanist, but a South African in general are xenophobic towards Nigerian. Yeah, we're trying to change that mindset. It's not true that South Africa in general are xenophobic, because South Africa is the only country in Africa that can boast about having all African countries living in it. No other African country can boast that. Only South Africa. And even when xenophobic attacks happen, Africans refuse to leave South Africa, because South Africa is a place where you can make it in life. It is. And I refuse to be classified as a xenophobic person. I love my African brothers and sisters. I love them so much. And I will not advocate for anyone to come and sell drugs in South Africa. I will not advocate for anyone to come and kill in South Africa. I know it's a crime problem. It's not only Nigerians that are selling drugs in South Africa. South Africans themselves are selling drugs in South Africa. So I don't want to nationalize crime. Crime is crime, and police must deal with it as such. But I will say you cannot classify Nigerians as drug dealers, and we hate all Nigerians. I've got Nigerian friends who are very nice people, the nicest people you have ever met in your life. Senegalese friends, Angolan friends, Ethiopian friends. I've got friends from all over Africa, and all of them are nice people. And I'm not afraid to say, if they will do a crime in my country, if I had the powers, I will arrest them myself. Because if I should commit a crime in their country, I would also think it's a fair ask for me to be arrested. So let's not nationalize crime. What do you think about African people in general? African people are great people. African people are people that have suffered for many years, and African people are people that are slowly waking up. We're seeing the trend of Africans adopting Pan-Africanism slowly but surely. So there is a hope for Africans. Africans are going to take over the world slowly but surely. Once African presidents wake up to the fact that Africa that is united is stronger than the rest of the world can just forget. I want to Mpile's into question. Okay. The Jetta people have to want its whole, but they can't want anything. Okay, now you guys are answering each other there, because the end of the day, we depend on the West and Russia for arms and for wars. Thank you so much for this, King. I really appreciate it. Those economic tips, please host more of them. I will do that. I will do that. Thank you so much. We think we depend on these people. We don't depend on these people. We can build nuclear power ourselves. We can build warships ourselves, but we're not empowering ourselves enough to do it. We think we depend on them. They actually depend on us. We love you, brother. Thank you so much. Teddy is whatever I wish to happen, to see African as one continent, one country. Yes, it will happen. It's going to slowly happen. It's not going to always be like this, my African brothers and sisters. It's not always going to be like this. I promise you, it's slowly going to happen. That made America unattractive to me. Yeah, when they care, I don't have a dream of going to America. I don't have a wish of going to America. I think African Americans must leave. American Africans or African Americans must leave that place and come back home. Africa should form a state like the EU and the United state of Africa. We do have the AU, but it's useless. But yes, the whole of Africa must have a president as split. Please wash your hands before you touch the water. What water are you talking about, my brother? Okay. In your rational and every person who identifies as being original African can claim it. No. You know who the Africans are. You know who the Africans are. Thank you so much, my brother. Have a wonderful night. Okay, Nigeria field African love. Okay, yeah, I'm getting released now. I agree 100%. Thank you so much, guys. I'm looking for Tulane says maybe solution for pure African Union is to have all non-African shipping back to their countries of origin and remain with only blacks in Africa and let Africa figure out their problems. If you are extreme like that, Tulane, then I love you. Then I love you. I would add that we don't need to go to that extreme. Just be pro-African so much that other people will want to leave your country. Just be so pro-African, deliberate about making African lives better, that other people will live at their own accord without chasing them away. They will just see, man, this country is not nice here as a Chinese. These Africans are looking after each other. It's not nice here. That's what I would say. Okay. I'm looking for the question that I was waiting for. I feel like we have a major lack of skill in African as a whole due to the lack of job opportunities and all that. That can change overnight. Okay, guys, 3 hours. This is my longest ever live that I've ever done. I've never talked so much in my life. Phew, I've got everything off my chest. Yeah, this million of migrants must come to Africa if they're African. Thank you, King said so. Thank you. Please release me. Thank you so much. We love you. I love you guys also so much. Thank you so much, Africans. Thank you for talking to me. Thank you for awarding me the opportunity to give my thoughts to you. I am not a Pan-Africanist that claims to be all right. I don't think I know everything. When I don't know something, I say that I don't know it. I want to believe that I have something to learn from you and you've got something to learn from me. So I really appreciate what you guys are giving me the platform to speak. You know, I really love you guys. I really hope we as Africans, when we meet each other in the streets, we can give each other hugs, we can give each other help, we can give each other a boost. But most of all, I wish that you assist me in the journey of building the school. It's not going to be easy. For me, I cannot sleep. I'm not a person that says they want to do something and then accept failure. I don't accept failure. So thank you so much. If 3 of you can just release me on the comment section by just saying good night, King. Salute you. I will love you. We love you so much, man. I hope that we can grow this country together. Yes, we can. We can. Thank you so much, King. Jovicho, King. Till next time, good night, King. Yes, those are 3 people that have released me. Thank you so much. Peace in Pan-Africanism. Until we meet next time, don't forget to pray, African child. But after you pray, stand up, do your best so that God can do the rest. Good night, my people. I love you so much. You have me speaking for 3 hours. Yo, cool. Thank you so much. Good night, guys. Blessed.